You know, there's a special kind of silence in a home that's shared with an old dog or a sleepy cat. It's a silence filled with years of shared walks, morning coffees, and the kind of loyalty that doesn't need words. But as we look at our silver-muzzled friends, we often see that slight stiffness in their step, or that itch they just can't scratch. Today, I'm not here to talk to you as a doctor, but as a fellow researcher and a friend who has spent years digging through veterinary studies to find what really works in the safe zone.
Everything here is backed by deep research into American veterinary standards like AKC, AAHA, and AVMA. The content on Pet Care Vibes is for educational and informational purposes only. Always consult with your trusted veterinarian.
I've discovered a simple kitchen secret, a pro tip I'll share at the very end that changed everything for my neighbor's senior lab, and it might just be the missing piece for your pet too. We've all been there. You see your dog struggling to get up from the rug, and your heart just sinks. You want to help, but the thought of heavy chemicals or expensive pills makes you feel uneasy. I remember my friend Martha in Florida. Her cat, Oliver, wouldn't even jump on the sofa anymore. She felt helpless. But here is where the research comes in. According to studies published by the American Kennel Club and several holistic veterinary journals, inflammation is the hidden enemy. As a researcher, I've found that many of the answers aren't in a pharmacy, they're in our own spice cabinets. For example, did you know that certain natural compounds can support joint health just as effectively as some synthetics, but without the tummy upset? It's about bioavailability. That's a big word, but it just means how well your pet's body can actually use the goodness we give them. When we look at the data from the 2026 AAHA guidelines, they're placing more and more emphasis on supportive care. That means we're looking at the whole pet, not just the symptom.
Let's talk about that safe zone we love so much. One of the biggest breakthroughs in recent pet research involves something as simple as coconut oil. Now, I've seen this personally. A little dab on a dry nose or a spoonful in the bowl can do wonders. Research shows that the medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, in coconut oil are like brain fuel for older pets. I once read a study where senior dogs showed better cognitive function, meaning they were more with it and less confused, just by adding healthy fats to their diet. And then there's turmeric. You've probably heard of it for your own joints, but for dogs, it's a powerhouse. However, here's a tip from the research papers. You can't just sprinkle dry powder and expect magic. It needs a carrier. Think of it like a car. The turmeric is the passenger, but it needs healthy fats and a pinch of black pepper to actually get to the joints. Seeing a dog go from stiff to playful just by changing a few things in their bowl, that's why I do this research. It's about giving them back their dignity. Our pets don't just age physically, they age emotionally too. Have you noticed your cat staring at a wall or your dog suddenly becoming a bit more clingy at night? You aren't imagining it. Research into canine cognitive dysfunction, which is just a fancy way of saying pet aging, tells us that they feel the same confusion we sometimes do. My experience has taught me that vitamin L, love, is backed by science. When you pet your dog, your brain releases oxytocin, but guess what? So does theirs. Studies show that consistent routines, like a gentle 5-minute brushing session every evening, can lower a pet's cortisol, the stress hormone, by up to 20%. It's not just grooming, it's a message. You're telling them, I'm here, you're safe, and you're still my best friend. For our American seniors, this bond is everything. It's why we wake up in the morning. So when your dog follows you from room to room, don't see it as a shadow. See it as a researcher would. It's a biological drive for safety and connection. Being a responsible pet parent in 2026 means being an advocate. It means looking at a bag of treats and saying, is this a chemical or is this food? I always tell people, if you can't pronounce the first 5 ingredients, your dog's liver probably can't process them either.
In my years of looking at grooming techniques, I've found that the safe zone also applies to their skin. In the USA, we have so many seasonal allergies. Instead of reaching for a medicated shampoo that strips their natural oils, research suggests a simple oatmeal soak. It's an old-fashioned remedy that modern science now confirms. It balances the skin's pH levels perfectly. I've seen dogs who were scratching their skin raw finally find peace with just a 10-minute lukewarm oatmeal bath. It's simple, it's cheap, and most importantly, it's safe. That is the heart of what we do here at Pet Care Vibes. Now, I promised you a pro tip at the beginning. This is something I found tucked away in a holistic research paper, and it's a game changer for senior dogs with grumpy joints. Always warm up your dog's food slightly, just to body temperature. Not only does it release the aromas that help senior pets with a fading sense of smell, but it actually aids in digestion. But here's the secret part. Add 1 tablespoon of warm, unfiltered apple cider vinegar to their water bowl once a week. Research suggests it helps balance their internal alkalinity, which can reduce the yeasty smell and keep those itchy ears at bay. Thank you for spending this time with me today. It means the world to me that you care so much for your companions. If you found a bit of comfort or a new idea today, please subscribe and join our community. We're all in this safe zone together. I'm your researcher here at Pet Care Vibes. Stay curious, stay natural, and give your sweet dog or cat a hug from me. Good night, and God bless.